And for our audience who haven't heard of you, where are you from?
Thank you so much. I am from sunny Los Angeles.
Yeah, and what's it been like here? How long have you been in New York? Because you were visiting for this week, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I got to New York Friday morning, and it's just been a wild, fun, amazing ride.
So apparently you brought the...
I brought the heat wave.
Yeah.
Yes, a bit too much of the heat wave, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's breaking today, from what I've heard, at least. It's gonna slow down. And when did you start singing, and why?
Yeah, so I love singing ever since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Had no musical talent initially whatsoever, but I was really passionate about it. And then one day, my mom actually surprised me with tickets to a Jonas Brothers concert. And this was before, I know, right? This is right before they had become well known. And I just remember this moment while they were on stage where I realized music is actually a career just like anything else that you can work towards. And it takes hard work and intention, but if you love anything, you can work and build your life around that, and that's what I've done. So that was November 3rd, 2007. So it's been almost 10 years.
Oh, it's kind of neat you know the date.
Yeah, well, it was life-changing.
Yeah, yeah.
For me.
Yeah, like a paradigm shift, I guess.
Yeah.
And what instruments do you play?
Yeah, I sing, if you call that an instrument, and then I play guitar, piano, drums, ukulele.
Wow.
That's about it.
Do you have a favorite? That's about it.
Well, I'd like to play violin and
yeah, violin's a neat
like
sound. Do you have out of that? Do you have a favorite instrument?
Yeah, I think piano is really enchanting to me, but guitar is very handy dandy, so I tend to play guitar more than piano.
Yeah, and from your website, it sounds like one of your favorite things to do is songwriting. It's very important to you.
Yes.
Just what's that process like for you, and where do you find your inspiration? Because I've talked to musicians who they need to sit outside under the sun with nature to write.
Oh, cool.
I know we've talked to people who it could be 2 a.m. and they have to get up and turn on their phone and write something in their phone. Mm-hmm. Do you have a particular source of inspiration? Like, what's that process like for you?
Yeah. I don't text and drive, but I sometimes do songwrite and drive. Mm-hmm. Whenever an idea comes into my head, I have to write it down. So it's a collection of different techniques. Whenever I have an idea or a thought or an emotion, I write it down on my notes app. But really what happens is music is therapy, and it's a way to express what's happening on the inside and reflect and dream and contradict what you're going through. And so it started for me as just a way to express myself in my teenage years. And as I've grown up, I've combined that to what inspires me sonically. So if there's a specific rhythm or specific melody that I think is really beautiful, I'll take that, I'll think, what does that make me feel like? And then I'll combine that with word ideas that I've already written down, and then I'll flesh out the story.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, that's usually what the process is like.
I mean, songwriting, it is a story, right? There's a narrative there.
Yeah, it's like my diary on the radio right now.
Yeah, I guess that's got to be hard because there's some vulnerability, right? I guess.
Oh, yeah, there's so much vulnerability.
Yeah.
But it is intimidating in some regards, but I've learned to really embrace it because that's what the human experience is all about, is sharing what's on the inside. So.
Well, I think what you said too, therapy, that's a good word, because I think it's got to be almost therapeutic, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
It is.
Now, being a social influencer seems to play a big role for you. And actually, we talked a little bit about in the bio. You can even talk a little bit more about that. But what organizations are you involved with? And how did this kind of seed get planted in your head where I want to be able to, be a difference maker?
Yeah. So when I moved to LA initially, it was Hollywood. And there's a lot of people in need and homeless, the demographic of homeless people in Hollywood is pretty large. And so I got involved with some friends just feeding the homeless once a week through this organization called the West Hollywood Food Coalition.
I see. And
I believe for the last 15 years, they've been serving meals every single day, 365 days a year. And I just thought it was such a beautiful organization. And then through social media, through this app called Flipagram, which is like the music version of Instagram, they offered me an opportunity to partner with Unilever and create a video that showcases the Thanksgiving spirit through sharing and helping people in need. And Unilever promised to commit a free Thanksgiving meal for every like or comment that the video got. So I ended up getting 3.5, I think a little more than that, million views and 480,000 likes and comments. So that was, in my opinion, the most significant thing, because I can't even wrap my head around that. And I think it's really important to help each other out in small ways and in big ways and everything in between.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that I didn't know, but that's crazy with all those views, and to know like you helped make that possible. That's got to be, and that's something nobody could take away from you too. Like, you know what I mean? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, what surprised me the most about it, it wasn't really. I don't want to take credit for it. It was all the people that saw what the video was about and then decided to like excessively, comment excessively, and share it. And that was really inspiring.
No, you need that interaction. You're right. You need that. You need them to want to do it, to feel compelled to do it. Yeah. And they all help that kind of dream turn into a reality. That's really neat.
Yeah.
We're going to hear your song soon, but I do want to ask you seem to be an avid traveler. You love traveling. What's been your favorite spot that you've visited?
Other than here right now?
Yeah, there you go.
I actually just came back today from Ithaca, New York. There's this place called the Firelight Camps, and it's basically a glamping experience on the resort. It's on a resort ground in Ithaca, and I went with my dad. It's Father's Day weekend coming up, and it was just really special to get away from all the noise and to spend a couple days reflecting and experiencing nature. But the more travel that I can incorporate into my life, the better. I think the world is a beautiful, fascinating place. So
yeah, Ithaca's actually a really pretty area by the Finger Lakes there, upstate. It's upstate a bit for those who aren't familiar. Not that many, what is it, 3-4 hours maybe?
Yeah, it's like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, it's a really nice, and you're right, you're kind of away from, it's actually not to like toot Nyack's horn, but that's what I like about Nyack too, because you're so close to the city, but you don't have that hustle bustle of the city here. That's really what I love about our gem of a location.
I agree.
What we're going to do now, you've actually probably have heard, if you've been a loyal listener to Warrior Radio, you've actually probably would have heard some of these songs already, but we're going to hear a trifecta of Layla's great music. We're going to hear The Proof, Something About You, and ending our great 3-song set will be Tidal Wave. What I'm going to do, Layla, is have you talk about the inspiration behind The Proof and Something About You, and then we'll discuss Tidal Wave when we come back.
Sure. So actually, all 3 of those songs were very personal experiences, speaking to your earlier comment. But The Proof is about this idea, sometimes you break up with somebody because you know it's the right thing to do, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't love the person. So the song was about a relationship that I knew I had to end, and still there was a part of me that hoped that perhaps there weren't reasons to end it, that I could get proof to why I should stick it out.
Yeah.
Something About You is completely opposite experience. It was about that first moment when you meet or have a connection with somebody and you just think that there's something about them that leaves you a bit enchanted.
So guys, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start out with The Proof, followed by Something About You and Tidal Wave. And once again, we're here with Layla Perry, and you're listening to WNYK 88.7 FM Warrior Radio. And once again, if you're just joining us, we are with Layla Perry, super talented. And you guys are all in for a treat today because she's going to perform for us. But before she does that, I actually did want to ask her the inspiration behind Tidal Wave. I almost forgot. What's the inspiration there behind Tidal Wave?
So Tidal Wave was about an ex-boyfriend. And I think, so I wrote this song in one go, which I always love when songs are written in one go because that means you have so much emotion to just release. Yeah. And the thing about that was just the relationships and the dynamics were such that instead of empowering you to go out and face the world and be the best you can be, it was just really wearing me down. And in terms of music, he was also a musician, and it was making me feel like, oh, I could never be a musician. So for me, Tidal Wave was really significant because it was just letting go of all of that and realizing that we can always rise above. Tomorrow's always a new day, and the day that I wrote that song was the day I was done. And it really is the song that started my musical journey.
Wow.
So I
a great
love the
song.
song. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And she's going to perform live for us guys, which I'm really excited about.
I'm excited
The
too.
one she's going to play first, going to play twice for us, but she's going to start off. We're going to hear another one later, so make sure you stay tuned. She's going to start off with Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, if you want to introduce that.
Sure. The song is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and it's about what I imagine falling in love with no reservations would feel like. Midnight, talk slow, drive fast, make it last. Oh, rhythm, burning up the night. You taste like paradise, your sweet love bites on my neck tonight. Oh, heartbeats fast, you're talking slow. All the reasons why we're laying here tonight, looking at the sky like it spells your name. Never wanna go, wanna stay here at hello, moving to the flow. Kiss, kiss, bang, bang, kiss, kiss, bang, bang. Your eyes feel like the dark side of heaven. I wanna see your constellations, baby. Pull me into your love. All the reasons why we're laying here tonight, looking at the sky like it spells your name. Never wanna go, wanna stay here at hello, moving to the flow. Kiss, kiss, bang, bang, kiss, kiss, bang, bang. Thank you.
Wow, that was really, 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 really good. And
Thank
live
you.
too. I kind of say this ad nauseum whenever we have musicians in here performing live, but that's like a true test to me when if they can pull it off live, sing live, and you knock that out, Layla.
Oh, thank you so
Very
much,
well
Brad.
done.
Very sweet.
Now it looks like from your site, it looks like you do in-person online music lessons. I imagine that's kind of a neat experience for you.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, it's what's kept me going through music, especially when I was first starting out, because like I mentioned earlier, I had no musical talent growing up, so it was really a struggle to figure out what the key techniques and the reasons behind musical theory and playing are. And
Of course,
I guess through
yeah.
that struggle, I learned what the epiphany moments were for
Yeah.
me. And as a result, being able to share that with other people, both online and in LA, has been so special. And to see people grow is such a beautiful, exhilarating experience. So I love it. It's fun.
Yeah, that's got to be really fulfilling, especially
Yeah.
to watch them progress, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of all you want in life is progression.
It
And-
always leaves me feeling grateful and just, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep, that's got to be fulfilling for
Thank
sure.
you. Yeah, it's fun.
Favorite musicians for you?
Sure. My dad's favorite musician is Justin Bieber, just putting that out there.
Oh,
I
there
also
you
love
go.
him. But no, I'd have to say Coldplay, so Chris Martin from Coldplay, Ryan Tedder from One Republic, and Ed Sheeran. I've met 2 out of the 3, so I'm dying to meet Coldplay. But I think their songs, the words that they say in their songs, and the music just continually take my breath away, and I never get tired of their music.
Of course.
so.
Well, how were they when you met them?
Amazing. So I actually met Ryan Tedder and Ed Sheeran
Yeah.
the same night, Grammy
Wow.
night this year. Yeah. With Ed, my Uber dropped me off randomly on the street, and he was walking down the hill from the party that I was going to, and Ryan was at the event. So
I see.
they were both just down to earth. I realized that it's really about the music or the art or whatever it is that you're creating in life, not about like the hype. So there was no hype around them. They're
Well,
just-
it's true. Look, I know we put them on a pedestal and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like that with athletes too, right? They can play an instrument well, or they can
Yeah.
sing well. You know,
Yeah.
they're human,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
and almost like what your quote said, we're all flawed, and that makes us human
Yeah, exactly.
for sure. your favorite hobby. Now, it sounds like with you, music's such a huge part of your life. But when you're outside of the music studio, what are your favorite hobbies?
Yeah, my favorite hobbies, everything. I feel like a little girl sometimes. Sunsets, coffee, running on the beach, dancing. I love all that. I'm a black belt, so that was like a 10-year struggle slash hobby. Yeah, I think anything that makes you express yourself or push yourself, hiking, speaking, meeting friends and family, and life is my hobby.
Yeah, it's a good answer. It kind of covers everything.
It really does.
Yeah.
Kind of vague, but also specific.
Yeah.
So.
And your favorite musical memory thus far?
Oh, boy. I have two.
Yeah.
Other than, like I said, this.
Today, right now.
Yeah, this is my first radio performance, so I'm honored. One of them was last summer. I was in Rome, and there was this group of reggae artists that were performing, and there was a crowd of like 300-400 people around them, and they asked if anybody wanted to do an improv song with them.
Yeah.
So I ended up singing, and it was just like a 4 or 5 minute back and forth improv reggae song, and it was so much fun. The other one was actually playing Tidal Wave for Daniel Lanois, who has 10 or 11 Grammys for producing U2, Bob Dylan, Peter Gabriel.
Oh man, talk about names.
Yeah,
Jeez.
there was like 10 Grammys on his wall, and then he was listening to my song, and I just thought, wow, this is amazing. So,
that's really neat.
Yeah, it was really special.
Do you have footage of that in Rome, both actually?
Yeah, I do. I have really blurry, but I have footage of Rome. It's on my Flipagram, and then Daniel Lanois actually came and performed at my birthday, so I have that footage as well.
It's sort of an impromptu question, but you've mentioned Flipagram a couple of times. I've been on there a little bit, but for audience who don't like, what's the short description for that, would you say? I know you said it's kind of like Instagram for music. Is that kind of the best?
Yeah. What I love about it is, so if you put a song that you like to a video on Instagram will remove it. So Flipagram has all the licensing, so you can add music or put your own music to video. It's a video-based social media app that's similar to Instagram, and it's meant for musicians.
That's good. It's an outlet for them too, I guess.
Yeah, it's a great platform.
We're going to move on to some rapid fire questions for Layla here before she performs once again, guys, so make sure you stay tuned here. What's your best non-musical talent?
I would say the 10 years of martial arts. Black belt.
Yeah, I not to like go on a tangent here, but how did that all get in? Like it's like black belt.
Yeah.
That's great. Like,
not gonna lie, I hated the process.
Yeah. Well, you stuck with it though.
Yeah. Well, because they had this plaque up that said a black belt is a white belt that doesn't quit. So when I was a yellow belt, I thought you're right, and then 10 years later, I finally got it, and it was actually the best moment of my life, just because of what a struggle it had been to get the black belt. So. Well,
it's 10 years in waiting, right?
Yeah.
Of course, that's got to be fulfilling.
Yeah. So that's fun.
One moment in history you wish you could have seen yourself.
Yeah. I am absolutely obsessed with the Frank Sinatra, Lucille Ball era, the old Hollywood movie star era. I think everything about that was just enchanting. I think it was a slower paced life, which I like. That's actually one of the things that I love about small towns is the slow paced life is a really beautiful way to live. So yeah, that's my, that would be my...
The wardrobe too.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like
love
the
it.
wardrobe.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Love it.
Yeah, same.
If you had to cook all your own meals, what would you survive on?
So actually, before music, I really wanted to be Martha Stewart. So I love cooking. And if I could eat anything in the world, everything.
I'm with you on that.
I probably anything that's Italian.
Yeah.
So.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
That's a right answer.
Exactly.
A fact. Oh, no, sorry. What's your hometown famous for?
So my hometown is technically Carlsbad, California. And it's famous for Tony Hawk, who is the most famous skateboarder in the world.
Easily,
and Shaun White. I actually did a skateboarding class with Tony Hawk's son in high school. He was one of my classmates. And then Shaun White is a friend of a friend. But they're both from my little tiny hometown.
That's funny.
It's northern San Diego.
Yeah, was it Flying Tomato, right? Shaun White or something?
Yeah, the Flying Tomato.
Yeah.
He taught me how to surf. That was the last time I went surfing was with him. Yeah, it's fun.
A fact most people don't know about you.
I'm a huge nerd.
Yeah.
I love philosophy and literature and history, and I wish I could spend my days reading more of those books, but I did in high school, and I loved it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Most visited website by you?
Most visited website, I want to say, is Instagram, hanging out with all of you guys,
Yeah.
and also YouTube, just because I love YouTube. Everything on it.
Yeah, so social media stuff.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. If you won the lottery, what would you do with the money?
I would try to use the money in an efficient way that would, I guess, help with the human trafficking situation,
I
like
see.
the sex trafficking
Yeah.
and all that. I think is disgusting, and it makes my skin turn. But I think that's something that's much more common than it should be, and I would like to fix that. And then there's so many beautiful people in the world that could use a little help, so I'd use that and then travel. So
Yeah. You talked about how much you love traveling. We actually have an organization on campus, Lost and Found,
okay.
just to do a shout out for them, and they do these almost like conferences kind of things. They try to educate the public on sex trafficking.
Yeah.
We had them in the first semester, and just Westchester, which is right across the river here, guys, there was an incident last January, I want to say. I apologize if I'm wrong, but there was a woman that was being sex trafficked. Like, that's the thing, sort of what you were talking about. Like, people act like, no, not in my backyard.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen these days. It doesn't happen here. I mean, it still does.
Yeah.
You don't want to be ignorant to
Crazy.
that. Yeah.
Crazy.
Describe yourself in one word, Layla.
I would say, I wish I could combine two words, but
You
driven.
can.
Passionate and driven.
That's good. Yeah, that's fine. It's not. Yeah, that fits. And your pre-performance routine, if you have one.
I do.
Yeah.
My worst performances are always when I think about how nervous I am, and my best performances are always when I take time beforehand to think about how I want to make the other people in the room feel.
I see.
That's my
It's actually
moment of
unintentional great segue, because she's gonna perform once again for us guys live here. You're gonna play. Now this is a new one, right? Burn the Memory.
Yeah, I really wrote it 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, this is
Not
exciting.
even.
It's exciting because I heard the snippets of it, but not the full. Like, this is pretty neat. Again, guys, it's Burn the Memory. I don't know if you want to talk about how that got, the inspiration behind it, but take it away.
Sure. Yeah. The inspiration behind it actually has not behind the lyrics, but behind why I wrote it was somebody had said like a very discouraging comment about like giving up on music and blah blah blah, and for a while I thought maybe they're right, maybe I wasn't cut out for this, and then I thought it doesn't really matter about, like I said, about me. It's the song and how the song makes somebody feel, and capturing stories that people go through. So this was a story that I've gone through, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate. So.
Very cool. Burn the Memory.
Here it goes. First time live ever. If someone said 6 months ago that you'd be here talking on the phone, saying, should have known, a guy's gotta do what a guy's gotta do, yeah. Sounded like you cracked a smile, said you've been playing around a while. Damn, you're a slave to your desire. Why hide the truth, lying out of both sides of your mouth. Whoa, there's no shame when the words come out. No, thought it hurt, but you set me free. I'm a bird. The memory gave me all that I need to leave. I'm a bird. The memory, yeah. The memory. I had to put my sweater on just to feel safe inside your arms, 'cause you've been cold for way too long. Too damn cool, lying out of both sides of your mouth. Whoa, there's a shame when the words come out. No, thought it hurt, but you set me free. I'm a bird. The memory gave me
Yes.
Thank you
Very
so
well
much,
done.
Brad.
First time live on radio.
Right.
That's exciting.
No
You'll have to
pressure.
send us the...
The sample.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Please
do
do.
that.
And again, a good lead-in. Where can we find your music, social media sites? I know you're playing in New York City tomorrow. Just like, honestly, take time to just plug your music and where we can find more information on Layla Perry.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the best parts of my job is being able to share my day-to-day on Instagram and Flipagram and social media. So Instagram is my big one. I love reading all your comments, and it's just my name, which is Layla Perry, which is LeilAPari. I have a show in New York City tomorrow night at 11:30 p.m. at Rockwell. It's a free show, no reservations required. Acoustic. I'm here without my band. They're all in LA.
Oh, acoustic's
so,
great.
yeah, I'm really
Honestly,
excited.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it gives you an opportunity to just talk and sing
Yep.
and hang out with
Yep.
the people
Great
that are
vibe.
there. Yeah. And yeah, so it's just Layla Perry is the social media handle for everything. I'm on Snapchat, Instagram, Flipagram, YouTube, which I still need to put more time into, of course.
Yeah, no,
but-
she's very active out there, guys.
Yeah.
And constantly updating, putting her music out there. Really talented, Layla Perry. We just really appreciate you coming in.
Of course.
I know you flew in far. I'm glad you made time for us to come in here. We really appreciate it. And to finish us off, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to hear more of her music. We have 4 more songs of hers coming up, and they are called Good When It's Gone, Until My Heart Beats Cave, and It's Not Me, It's You, and lastly, it will be Diamond. And again, Layla Perry, we really